Good evening. Hello, we're live on Facebook and YouTube and who knows what other channel out there on the wide world of the internet. And tonight we've assembled some certified hula life coaches and we're discussing the subject of gratitude. We have all found that having a grateful heart and trying to be grateful for something every day helps us in our lives. So, Darla, why don't you tell us, how have you found having a grateful heart gives you a better perspective on your day?
Great question. I didn't always used to do this, but I usually wake up my morning with gratitude and thanking God for my life and my day and the beautiful. I'm a Libra, I guess, so I like the beauty in the world, and I like to wake up listening to the birds sing and that sort of thing. So the sunrise and the sunshine, and I don't know if everybody does that or I do it, but it just helps me know that I'm blessed and be thankful and grateful for this day I have ahead of me, and how can I shine my light today. So I'm also very grateful because I get to I see women all day in the office as a nurse practitioner, and women are a little bit more complicated maybe than men. It's a hormone thing, right? So I'm just so grateful when I go to see a patient that I know I have help behind me. I focus on not just what my task is, but the whole woman. And so I just have different perspective, I think, because I'm grateful and I'm growing, and I try to help other women find the grace in their life. And it helps me be happy and healthy, and helps hopefully spread that to other women that I'm contagious around. I hope that gratefulness is, I shine that to them, and then I help them see what they can be grateful for in their world as well. And then I think it's really important when I come home and I see my husband that I'm grateful. And for any of you that have a dog, when you come home from being gone all day long from work, or when you come home from 5 minutes being gone walking to get the mail, your dog is probably so excited. If those of you who are dog owners, they get so excited and so happy to see you, and so they run around the house and jump and give you a hug and a kiss and all of that. And so I think when I see my little Pepper do that, it just it helps remind that to just be so grateful that you have love in your life. And I greet Kevin that way when I come home from work, and I tell women to do that too. It helps with your marriage, when your spouse comes home from work and you've been home first, then be grateful for them and get up and show them how grateful you are. I think it gives a different perspective in it, and be grateful for your relationship, and it makes your relationship stronger when you just have a grateful heart. I think it helps look at the positive in a relationship. So from morning till night, that's kind of my day. So Gina, I know you have a wholly different job than I do, and a different family life than I do, because our kids are grown, but how do you focus on your gratefulness to have a different perspective on your day?
Well, when I thought about this, I was trying to think of ways, because it's hard to just start practicing gratitude if you haven't really done it before, and to really focus on that a lot. So what I kind of did was kind of break it down a little bit to kind of help people become a little more in tune with practicing gratitude and actually using focus to practice that. So I was listening to a couple of podcasts today, kind of going over like focus and how to get yourself focused. And one thing that popped in my mind when I was thinking about focus, and I'm sure we've all seen that video of the lady that needed to clean her house, but she went to take the trash out and realized the trash can was dirty. So then she had to take she had to clean out the trash can, but then she noticed the sink was, and it's just one thing after another, after another, after another. And that's what happens with our brain is, you start one task and then you totally go this way all day long. And then you look at your day and you say, I got nothing done. And it's kind of the same way with gratitude. We do, you start to think about something and then you get sidetracked all day long, and you never sit down and actually practice the whole gratitude. It was kind of funny because I've always said one of my strengths is I'm a really great multitasker. And in all the stuff that I've been reading about focus and stuff, multitasking is really not a great strength to have, because you're not sitting and focusing on one key thing, because your mind is constantly going all over the place. So that's something I just kind of little bit of coaching to myself. I really need to sit down and practice focus and, things to be, I am always grateful. I do look for great things to be grateful for all the time, even in like hardships. I look for, lessons and stuff to be learned in all of those different seasons of life. But, one of the things in our campaign this month was on focus. And I know it's focus on gratitude, but I was just saying focus in everything, and, just slowing down and being mindful of what we're thinking about and what we're doing and the different practices that we have every day. Just a couple of things, like it was talking about, avoiding distractions, even just turning off your phone. That's a great way to even practice being grateful for things. Turn off your phone, get off of social media, spend time with your family, fueling yourself the correct way, just eating healthy, exercising, taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep. And then always the 3x5 note card's a huge one with, for us coaches, and, setting those SMART goals every day on things you want to get done, or, even with just the big goals for life. So when I think of focus, that's kind of where that took me. So, yeah. Well, what about you, Colette?
Well, I totally can relate with both of you. I mean, I find myself being a lot all over the place. I'm definitely the person that starts one thing and then starts another, starts another, starts another. I go, what was I doing? For sure. And I ask myself all the time, like, what did I really do today? But I kind of do a little bit what Darla does. But instead of doing my first thing in the morning, because my mornings typically are pretty much get up, I wouldn't say they're go, go, go. They're not nearly as go, go, go as they were, because my kids are getting older and can get themselves dressed and feed themselves breakfast and all of that stuff. But I still get up at the same time. And sometimes I'll read a little bit. I've got a grateful journal that I write in. But a lot of times I find myself writing in that at night. I mean, not at night, in the morning, not at night, but in the morning, reflecting on the day before. I'll write it like it was that day, but it just gives me a chance to kind of go back and think about the day before and all those things that happened throughout the day. And I very rarely don't fill up a whole page. And I am a teacher, and I teach third grade, and I have been really working this year, especially with my third graders, on gratefulness. We've been talking a ton about what it's like to feel grateful for certain things and how you show that to others. One of the stories we were reading yesterday was talking about the moral of, well, I guess it's not really a moral, but just the phrase, actions speak louder than words. And kind of goes in with what Darla was saying on greeting people and showing your appreciation for them. And I was so excited because one raised her hand this morning and she told me, she's like, I did what you told me to do. After dinner last night, I picked up my dish, I went to the sink and I washed it off. And my mom said, what are you doing? It was just so great because her mom totally thought she was doing it because Santa's on his way. And I told her, I said, you know what? The best gift you can do is do it again and do it again for mom and just let her know you appreciate her by just doing something small like that. So it was so fun to see them kind of pick up on that and just doing it for the reaction of other people. So I was super grateful for that moment today. It was awesome that they're starting to make little lists of things that they're grateful for, kind of working into teaching them how to do a journal. I did a list. They had an option of doing a list today and just writing a couple of things, and we're not going to take it from them. That's all theirs. Then I also have a piece of paper that they can write something down and put it in a jar, and they don't have to put their name on it. And we are going to read a few of those during our morning meeting. So just whatever they're grateful for, and just to show that everybody's grateful for different things. You know, you could be grateful for the meal you had last night. I could be grateful that I got to sleep in my own bed by myself, you know, as a kid. So we can be grateful for so many different things. And I think it's just awesome that they're learning how to see the many, many ways of being grateful. So I definitely have gotten better at it, but I definitely have a lot of room that I can be even better. But it definitely makes my days way better. I find way more good things in every day than bad things, for sure. So it's a great practice to have, and the focus of it is key. Make it a priority for sure. So, Debbie, what about you?
Well, yeah, so gratitude is a huge part of my life. And, you know, I admit that it is so easy to be grateful for good things. You know, getting up in the morning when things are going well, when the weather's great, and going for a walk or a run, the sunrise, the beauty, the way it smells, that's fabulous. So when things are going well, yeah, those are easy. Write those down. What I'm working on is how do you transition from how do you be grateful for things that are not good in the moment? And you know, in some cases, obviously there can be, you know, extremes. We recently had a car accident with a deer up north in Michigan, and we totaled our car. And it was one of those situations. It just came charging out of the woods, ran across, and hit our car. And in that moment, I will say I was not feeling very grateful for that accident. And so for me, I focus a lot on, okay, transitioning out of that. But also, I think it's important to allow yourself to grieve and acknowledge the way it is. Like this isn't the greatest situation in the world. This is not what I wouldn't have thought that, oh, this is a wonderful thing to be grateful for. And so, but what I find interesting is in those moments, like that day, like upon reflection on that day, I'm like, you know, we were all okay. I am grateful that we all walked away. I'm grateful we were actually able to drive our car home, even though it ended up not being something we could repair. You know, I'm grateful for the police officer that showed up and treated us really kindly. I'm grateful that my brother came to pick up my kids from the scene so that they didn't have to hang out and deal with the rest of the aftermath, you know, and so I think that it's super easy to get those moments of beauty and wonder in life, but in the moment when something tragic happens, it's much harder. And so, but I do believe that you do set yourself up for success when you have that bias for gratitude every day. If you're in the habit of looking for gratitude at the end of your day, okay, you know, I'm beyond the grief. What was really good about that? You know, I'm grateful that this really brought us closer as a family, or I'm grateful that it gave me this perspective. And I think that when you have that it's like a muscle almost, you know, you're exercising it, that it's the more you do that, the faster you can transition out of the grief stage and into the really feeling grateful and looking for the positive in that moment. And I do find also the journaling that and looking for the gratitude and the good things that have happened in the bad. So Rob, how about you? Do you have strategies, or how do you handle transitioning from something that may be not great in the moment to finding the gratitude? What works for you?
Sure. Thanks, Debbie. And actually, I have it's actually a perfect segue, and I have a little different take on that. Is that it's also possible to have gratitude for things that haven't even happened yet. And that's really where I've taken focus and attention, and really, created magic out of that. And a story that I can share was about 2 years ago when we were still living in California. We decided to move to Arizona. It was under stressful circumstances. My husband is a special education teacher, and he was in a really bad job for a long time, and he was working like 70 or 80 hours a week. It was just ruining his health. And we just decided that enough was enough. We were going to come to Arizona. My in-laws live here. And just for a lot of reasons, it was right. But I knew that at that time, the real estate market was doing well, and we really wanted to sell our place. So my gratitude every day was first on finding a realtor. And I even wrote out exactly what kind of realtor I wanted and the qualities I wanted them to have. And then I focused on that every single day and every day. And as I was writing out my gratitude every day, I'm happy and grateful that I found this realtor that da 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 da. And that was just my focus every day. Found the realtor, listed the house, like beginning of October. When we opened escrow, middle of October, we closed escrow within about 28 days. But the whole time, there was just no other option. And I was grateful for that every single day. I created that memory every single day. I focused on that every single day. And anytime any negativity or thoughts crept through my mind, I just told myself, nope, that thought's out the window. And then I would replace it with what I wanted to see. So it really showed me the power of focus, but being able to have gratitude, to feel it, like have that emotion of something that hasn't even happened yet. And that was so powerful for me because we created it, we achieved it. And at the same time, when we made that decision, I also found out my mother-in-law was just diagnosed with breast cancer, who lived here in Arizona. Felt like that was just another sign from God that was just all meant to be. And so that's really how, when I was kind of reading through this week's content and looking at focus and attention, I really was reminded of that whole story of how we created that and how it is really possible to be grateful for things that haven't even happened yet. Kevin, how about?
I was going to say something to what you said, Rob. And, there's so many studies out there that talk about, just manifestation in your mind. Your mind doesn't know if it actually happened or if it hasn't happened. So if you're playing that constantly in your mind, like it's already happened and you're grateful for it, you are going to manifest those things in your life. So that's, something else that this campaign talks about. And that's a post that I'm going to share tomorrow, is about grateful anticipation, and to be grateful, but anticipate more is coming to you. And that's how you get more things, flowing through you, is when you're constantly grateful. Like, I'm grateful for this, but I know there's more coming. I'm grateful for this, but I know there's more coming. And just keep that anticipation coming. So you're constantly almost waiting for those amazing things to happen in your life.
Yeah, and which is awesome because it's expecting great things to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think that's so true. There's a lot of people that pray about things they want in their life. And I believe when you pray about something, it's just like, please, God, I ask you to do this thing. But then he's heard that. He knows what you want. He heard that. And the rest of the time, it's like, thank you, God, for bringing me this. Thank you for all of this in my life. Because, You just want to keep being grateful for what he's going to do for you. And it makes the world of difference than just keep asking for the same thing over and over. Right?
Right.
Dad, dad. No.
Yeah, there's this concept of we are grateful for everything that we have. And that's you have to get your head around that, but once you do, that's a pretty easy concept to understand. It's not as easy to do when you have a situation like Debbie had, when things seem bad. But I agree with her that it is a good idea to face the reality of that and maybe not be grateful in the moment, but anticipate the gratefulness you're going to have later for what good did come out of that situation. So I know I found situations in my life when I was late to work and I thought, oh, this is terrible. I'm going to be disappointing people. And then I get on the highway and all of a sudden, oh, look, there's a wreck right there that these 3 people got in. That could have been me if I hadn't been late today. So you don't even know all the time when you're in the situation what you might be grateful for later or what might have happened. So we kind of understand, I think we talked about being grateful, but this concept that now Rob has introduced of anticipation of the future. So yes, we're grateful, but we also want to think about ourselves and growing into the future. We don't want to stay stagnant. Henry David Thoreau said, many men live lives of quiet desperation. They've lost their dreams, they've lost their goals, and they're just existing out there. And anticipating gratefulness can be for things that we are going to receive in the future. It's not that we're not very happy with the things that we do have, but we always, as humans, want to strive for something better, to grow ourselves. Not just things, but to actually increase our compassion, to increase our level of empathy for others, to be able to love other people more, and things like that. So, Colette, tell me, what do you think of in the future? What are you looking forward to being grateful about?
It's funny that you called on me because I was thinking about that as you're talking. I was anticipating you. You know what? This whole like coaching thing, I'll be honest, I have not yet coached my first official client, but I can see them. I can see the people in which will be eventually led to and the lives that I will change because of it. I'm not there yet, but it's like there's this person way out in the distance and I can see her and what she does, but I'm still back here. And so I constantly am thinking about that as I go through this whole journey with ULA. The first year, I said I was going to be focusing on me and actually living the framework and doing all the things that I would be coaching others and doing. And I am coming up very close. I want to say the 20-something is my year anniversary. And so that's going to be the next step in which people will start. I don't know if I want to say people will come to me, but I will be going to those people next. And I am really focusing more on the teen program that's been inspired by ULA that Sheila has done. And I'm coaching my son, and that's been awesome. I've had several other people kind of ask me questions about it. Again, I haven't coached anybody yet, but I see it out there. So that's definitely something I am anticipating and so grateful for. So yeah, for sure. Gina, how about you?
I gotta say the same thing. I have coached a couple people through the 3-week program. And even just that has been so huge. And if I look at myself a year ago, I remember when we all became coaches on 7/7/2019, when it was announced, we got to have a one-on-one call with Dave. And I remember I had no idea what I was going to say because I didn't know what I wanted with the coaching business. I had no clue. And he said, well, where do you want to take it? And I said, honestly, I don't know, because I didn't. I had no idea. And just the amount of growth that I've had in the past year, just with myself and, breaking a lot of fear boundaries. And then now with the collaboration of the Arizona coaches, I just see so much growth and so much amazingness happening. And it's so exciting. And that totally keeps me going forward. And every little bit is so exciting. And I'm so grateful for it. And my 1 year will be on the 12th. So that's 2 days, I believe. That's when I graduated. Got my certificate. So I'm excited because I'm going to, post some stuff on my Facebook and, get some things going, but it's so much fun. And I've learned so much about myself and about people and about, just so much. And, the one thing that Dave and Troy always tell us is you have to be patient through this process. And I just remind myself, like every time I start to feel frustrated, I say, okay, it took them 7 years to get here. I'm at 1. I gotta just be patient with the process, and it, it'll come. And it's, doing all the free things for people and giving away books and giving away tea, and all of this is going to eventually pay off. And I see that. And so that's what I'm really excited about. Yeah. What about you, Debbie? What about you? What are you anticipating?
Yeah, so I'm anticipating an end to COVID at some point in time. But in terms of the coaching and of ULA, I'm super grateful for this community, the support. I can't say enough. Yeah, the growth, things that I would have never been doing a year ago. I'm like just doing regularly and putting myself out there. So the fear blocker, obliterating that. I'm looking forward to helping clients through. I have a Transformation Tuesday workshop where a lot of people struggle with New Year's resolutions, but really turning those into goals and showing them how, going through the ULA framework, how to sustain movement toward those goals. And what I've been amazed at is the people that I've had through workshops and in book clubs who have said this is incredibly valuable and how much it's helped them. And so I'm really looking forward to being able to help more people through the framework, more people using the process and the steps. And yeah, excited to see what 2021 brings for sure. And I love that idea that Rob, you have of, you're creating a future memory. It's an expectancy of success. And I often tell people, well, proceed as if success is inevitable. And the best way to do that is to create that picture, and that focusing on a gratitude space is a great way to do it for sure. Rob, what are you looking forward to?
Along the lines of Colette and Gina and you, I do want to see COVID be gone too. But a lot of really my big focus right now is on helping others and growing my coaching business. Like Colette, I've not coached anybody officially yet, but I feel like I've been coaching people for years and years and years, just as a normal part of who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm also envisioning the same, the people that I'm going to help, the lives that I can change. Because I just really do think about this year, 2020, and after Palooza, the goals that I had created and what this year was supposed to look like turned out nothing like I think any of us thought. But I do have to say that without the ULA framework, I really don't know where I'd be today. I don't know what my life would look like today. And I don't know with certainty that I would be where I am today. So I just want to be able to take that and help and give that to others and allow others to learn and to grow like I have, because it really truly has been a gift. So that's what keeps me going, is the thought of all the lives that I can impact and we all can impact. And I too am just so inspired by our group of Arizona coaches. It's been an awesome fellowship and a great camaraderie, and a huge support. Kevin, Darla?
Rob, we want to thank you for saying that, because that brings to my mind, I don't even want to think about what my life would have been like if I hadn't gone to Palooza last year. You can ask this lady that's smiling from ear to ear over here. And I would not have been able to handle this COVID situation and all the nonsense that we've dealt with if I didn't have this world of ULA and these new friends as all the other coaches and the new life that I've started living because of that. And if any of you out there are thinking, well, that sounds pretty good, I'd like to have some of that. I'd like to live a life that I want to live. I'd like to work at a job that I want to work at. I want to live with my family and really want to be there. Well, ULA has a framework that can help you do that. And I am proof positive. And I'm sure these other coaches would agree. So we were all trained in this process of the ULA framework. And any of us would be glad to help you find out more about that. We will include our coach's website and a link on this video after it's all done. And you can find all of us on Facebook if you'd like to reach out and contact us. So we hope you've enjoyed our discussion tonight. I know I certainly have. And we'll be back here and do this again next Tuesday at the same time. We hope you'll join us then. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye.
Night.
Be grateful. Have faith. Go get your ULA life.